Every year, ambitious climbers look at the list of the 14 mountains on Earth that rise above 8,000 meters, and they ask the exact same question: which one is the easiest? But above 8,000 meters, your body is actively dying. Up in the death zone, the very concept of an easy mountain is a lethal illusion. When you look at standard commercial difficulty rankings, you usually see a single score out of 100. That composite number blurs completely different types of danger together into one neat but dangerously misleading package. Picking your expedition based purely on the lowest overall score hides the real threat. You might avoid a steep rock wall, but you walk right into uncontrollable environmental forces that actually kill climbers. This chart shows how to properly evaluate these peaks. We have to separate technical difficulty, things like steep ice and route finding, from objective hazard, which covers avalanches, weather, and extreme altitude. Take Mount Everest. Because of heavy commercial infrastructure, forecasting, and fixed ropes, both its technical demands and its objective hazards sit right around the middle of the pack. Now look at K2. It demands maximum technical climbing ability, while also exposing you to the absolute maximum level of volatile weather and rockfall. Then there is Annapurna 1. It is actually less technical than K2, but it receives a maximum hazard score because of unmitigated Avalanche and Serac exposure. Historically, it has the highest death-to-summit ratio of them all. A lower technical requirement does not mean the mountain is safe. It just means you don't need to be an elite ice climber to reach the exact spot where a serac might collapse on you. Ropes, gear, and human expertise can help you overcome technical difficulty, but no amount of skill can negotiate with an avalanche. On Tier 1 and 2 peaks like Everest and Manaslu, operators build massive base camps. This heavy commercial infrastructure significantly lowers the logistical and route-finding burden for the individual climber. Well-funded amateurs pay a premium to have Sherpas fix ropes from the base to the summit and to receive advanced weather forecasting. They are buying a safety net. But even with all that support, you are still climbing into the death zone. The extreme altitude exposure on Everest remains at the maximum lethal limit, regardless of how much money you spend. Cho Oyu often ranks as the easiest 8,000er overall, scoring just 42 out of 100, largely because its standard route has the lowest technical demand in the group. But Cho Oyu comes with a hidden trade-off: access reliability. The standard route goes through Tibet, and shifting border politics can instantly cancel your expedition before you even put on your boots. Trading physical risk for commercial ease means you aren't removing danger. You are simply shifting your vulnerability over to infrastructure failure and political volatility. Even if the logistics go perfectly, every climber faces an unavoidable biological limit: acute mountain sickness. In extreme hypoxia, your cells literally starve. Minor headaches rapidly progress into fluid filling your lungs or your brain swelling, conditions that are quickly fatal. The primary medical defense is a drug called acetazolamide, better known as Diamox. It induces mild metabolic acidosis, forcing your body to breathe faster and keep oxygen levels up. But for professional, sponsored climbers, there is a severe regulatory catch. Acetazolamide is strictly prohibited at all times under global anti-doping regulations. If an elite athlete uses the drug to survive a mountain emergency, they must navigate a complex administrative process to file for a retroactive therapeutic use exemption, or risk losing their credentials. Relying on a chemical intervention solves a short-term biological crisis, but it creates long-term professional liabilities. More importantly, it masks the vital need to execute a proper, natural acclimatization strategy. To escape the crowds and heavy infrastructure, advanced alpine purists often seek out Tier 2 and 3 peaks for a more authentic, isolated challenge. By elite standards, Pakistan's Broad Peak is considered a moderate objective, scoring 57.5 out of 100 on the Composite Difficulty Index. On July 30, 2026, conditions on the mountain were unstable. At 9:30 in the morning, a massive avalanche struck the climbing route directly between Camp 2 and Camp 3. The slide swept away 10 summit-bound climbers, plunging them hundreds of meters down the face and instantly wiping out a highly experienced expedition team. The victims included several world-renowned mountaineers, among them Nimsdai Purja. This tragedy completely shattered the myth of invulnerability on moderate peaks. Objective hazards do not care about your resume. Technical mastery cannot negotiate with environmental collapse. This matrix matches your profile to a mountain tier. What is your primary resource? Budget and time leads to Tier 1 and 2 commercial peaks, maximizing summit probability. Technical skill asks, can you accept unmitigated avalanche risk? Yes points to Tier 3 and 4. Selecting a mountain is not about finding the easiest route. It is entirely about aligning the peak's demands with the specific type of risk, financial, technical, or objective, that you are actually equipped to absorb. A numerical difficulty score is just a logistical roadmap for planning your expedition. It is not a calculation of your personal probability of survival. Commercial support can buy oxygen, Sherpas, and fixed lines, but wealth cannot buy immunity from the death zone. Extreme alpine skill will certainly help you conquer steep ice, but it cannot stop an unpredictable massive mountain avalanche. Surviving the 14 8,000ers requires recognizing that you are never truly in control. You are only choosing which uncontrollable risk you are willing to face.